Kare Maventika, and welcome to Africa Good Morning, the show that keeps you up to date with the latest news in Africa and beyond. My name is Glenora Shipura, joined by Diana Master.
Mamukase.
Oh, you still need to teach me the reply to that.
It's been a year.
It's been a year.
It's been a year.
Okay, Kora.
Mapenduka.
Wow. We need to work on this.
We need to work on this. We spend too much time talking about nonsense instead of things that actually matter and things that will actually help us develop and progress. But nonetheless, let's get into what you can expect in today's broadcast. Gabon selects 19 presidential candidates for August election. Chinese man convicted in Malawi over racist videos. Boost for Kiswahili as Google adds it on Chatbot. We'll also be crossing over to Zambia to speak to Mike Sichula, and he'll give us all the latest news that side. Stick around, we'll be back with our top stories after this break.
Welcome to Active Kids, a daily TV show that sparks creativity, learning, and fun for young minds. With exciting activities and lessons, Active Kids inspires curiosity and a love for learning.
New face to the 15.
The perfect mix of play and education. Don't miss out on the fun. Tune into Active Kids on NTV every weekday at 10 o'clock and let the adventure begin.
Today is the 25th of July 2023, and here are your top stories. Gabon selects 19 presidential candidates for August election. Gabon has validated 19 candidates, including current President Ali Bongo and several former ministers, for a presidential election next month, the Election Commission said. Bongo's candidacy has approved despite opposition claims that he is unfit for the presidency. He suffered a stroke in October 2018 and was flown to Morocco for medical treatment. The president of the Gabonese Election Center, Michael Stephen Bonda, said on Sunday that 27 applications were received by the deadline for filing nomination papers and 19 were approved. Bongo came to power in a contentious 2009 election following the death of his father, Omar Bongo, and won re-election in 2016. Both of Bongo's election wins were disputed by the opposition, who said he won fraudulently. He is standing for a third term after ruling for almost 14 years. Gabon has no constitutional terms limits.
Now getting into our next story, Chinese man convicted in Malawi over racist videos. A Malawian court on Thursday convicted a Chinese national accused of racism and exploiting children in relation to a series of online videos, and ordered him to leave the country. A judge in the African nation's capital of Lilongwe handed Lu K, 27, a 12-month sentence after the man found guilty of procuring children to take part in entertainment and racially exploiting them. Public prosecutor Masaoko Chamkakala said Lu, who was arrested last year, was given 7 days to leave Malawi, having already served his time behind bars. He has already served 12 months, hence his immediate release, Chamkakala told AFP. Lu allegedly filmed children singing racist chants about themselves in Chinese, which they did not understand, and then sold the videos on Chinese social media. In one video, a young child aged about 9 was heard saying, "I am a monster with low IQ." Chamkakala said Lu has paid compensation to the victims but declined to disclose the amount.
In our next story, boost for Kiswahili as Google adds it on Chatbot. Kiswahili has got another boost after being included in Google's conversational generative chatbot, BART. The widely spoken medium of communication in the continent now becomes the first African language on the platform of the tech giant. Other languages in the current expansion drive include Chinese, German, Spanish, Arabic, and Hindi. The American tech giant, founded in 1998, targets netting users from new countries and territories. The United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization ranks Kiswahili as among the 10 widely spoken languages in the world. Currently, it has over 200 million speakers, pointing to the potential value that BART will reap from its inclusion. Bard is Google's experimental conversational AI chat service. It is meant to function similar to ChatGPT, the difference being that Google's services will pull its information from the web. Ms. Rachel Ndishu, the language manager at Google Regional Office for East Africa in Nairobi, said the launch of Bard in Kiswahili was a milestone. It has allowed Bard to reach even more people in Africa, where approximately 150 million speak Swahili.
Now, in some more good news for Africa, Netflix makes good on promise to amplify African voices with the debut of trailblazing animation Super Team 4. Netflix's first original African animated series premiered on Thursday. In a debut, its creator said she hoped she'd pave the way for more productions from the continent. Set in a futuristic version of Lusaka, the capital of Zambia, Super Team 4 tells the story of 14 girls who turn undercover superheroes after being recruited by a retired secret agent to save the world. I'm excited that the world finally gets to see the fantastic show that the incredibly talented super team from Africa and beyond have put together, Zambian writer Malenga Mulendema told AFP in a statement. We hope Super Team 4 will lead to further investment and collaboration so we can continue to grow the industry. Mulendema created the series after pitching it at a Pan-African talent search by animation studio Triggerfish, where she became one of the winners in 2015. When the show was first announced in 2019, Mulendema said she set the story in her home country to illustrate that anyone from anywhere can be a superhero.
Wrapping up our top stories, Maasai giraffes at increased risk after subspecies divides into two. Already endangered Maasai giraffes are even more at risk than previously thought, according to researchers from Penn State University in the US. A valley running between Kenya and Tanzania means the subspecies has divided into two groups which have not interbred in more than 250,000 years, so two separate species are both at risk. Interbreeding is of great significance as it enhances genetic diversity, thus shielding small populations from diseases. The researchers analyzed high-resolution satellite data in a bid to identify the routes that the giraffes might have used to potentially climb over, but they did not find any reports of the giraffes doing so. Douglas Kavanagh, genetics and evolutionary biologist at Penn State University, explained why this may be worrying. What we now know is that 35,000 giraffes are actually split into two, so there is no more than probably 20,000 giraffes on either side of the escarpment, he says.
That brings us to the end of our top stories. Stick around, we'll be right back with news from Zambia with Mike Sichula.
Welcome to My.NA Cars, your ultimate destination for everything automotive.
I am your host, Diana Master.
Teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Discover the latest models, innovative technologies, and expert insights from our passionate hosts. Learn essential maintenance tips and get exclusive behind-the-scenes access to the automotive industry. Don't miss My.NA Cars on NTV every Thursday at 2100 hours. Tune in and ignite your passion for automobiles.
Now, crossing over to Zambia, we begin with news that Zambian model Kena Chibuye emerged as winner of Miss Earth International Beauty Pageant in the Philippines. Here to give us the story and more is Mike Sichula. Good morning, Mr. Sichula.
Africa, good morning. Thank you very much for having me.
Yes, let's get right into it.
Yes, so Kena, from 50-50 contestants from all over the world, she was declared winner of the 2023 title in the Philippines. So the winners of the Earth pageant are not narrowed around beauty, though they are beacons of leadership towards environmental awareness. So before going for the beauty pageant, Kena drove into environmental work and spoke publicly for its cause. So this is something that even the Ministry of Environment in Zambia is excited that people who have ventured into promotion of environmental health are now being recognized, and supermodels like Kena are likely to be used by the government to promote messages of environmental change so that the country can also mitigate and also fight effects of climate change. So according to her, the primary purpose of community behavioral change is to re-educate the Zambian communities on the impact of plastics in the environment and modify their attitudes. This is what she said when she was declared winner via her Facebook page. So it is something that a number of Zambians who are into modeling are excited that Zambia is now being recognized internationally such that its supermodels are winning global titles.
Well, that's certainly good news indeed. Now, in your next story, on a rather sad note, authorities in eastern Zambia have detained a man after discovering him in possession of an albino person's dead body. Can you get into this story?
Quite a sad story coming from Katete in the eastern part of Zambia, where a 46-year-old man has been arrested by police for being in possession of an albino body, which he was trying to sell at 1 million kwacha. This is roughly over an amount that people involved in this business are said to be charging. So according to beliefs that we have is that the body of an albino is contains some supernatural powers for people who want to venture into business and all sorts of activities to increase their wealth. So he was arrested, and the Eastern Province Police Commanding Officer confirmed yesterday, saying that the body has been identified of that of a Chileka Banda who was living with albinism. He went missing last week, and information that police gathered is that the person who has been arrested with his body had actually killed him, and he was looking for buyers. That is when police received information that there was an individual who was in possession of the body of an albino and was selling it at 1 million. So he's been arrested, and police are using him to find his likely buyers so that they can get to the bottom of this case, because a number of albinos have been attacked in the recent past.
That is truly disturbing and actually quite sad. Now, moving on, we understand that there are plans to reform the school curriculum and add pastoral education to secondary schools. Please get into this.
Yes, the Zambian government has prioritized tourism and also agriculture, including mining, in terms of increasing its potential to support economic growth. So the decision by the government to include pastoral education to learners is something that they hope that a number of young people will get interest and venture into agriculture in order to increase food productivity at the household level. So the government is using different formulas in order for many people to begin to contribute to agriculture. Like I've been saying in the recent past, where government has also is introducing ICTs. They are also introducing learners to environmental programs, and now this one of pastoral education. It's something that the government hopes that people are going to gain interest and also contribute to the development of the economy through venturing into agriculture at an early stage.
Well, that looks like a step in the right direction. In your last story, the Copper Queens captain Barbara Banda says the squad has moved past the 5-0 defeat to Japan in preparation for tomorrow's World Cup match against Spain. Can you get into this?
The issue on the table is that if the Copper Queens lose to Spain tomorrow, it means the Copper Queens will be out of the World Cup. This is how crucial it is, considering the 5-0 defeat that they suffered at the hands of 2011 world champions Japan. So this is as simple as that. It is for this reason that the Copper Queens, including coach Bruce Mwape and other people that are involved in this game, are looking at it to ensure to come out with a positive result so that they can brighten their chances of progressing to to the group to the next stage. So Barbara Banda has maintained that the Copper Queens are ready to face Spain, who are also coming into this match, having beaten Costa Rica 3-0. So they're also hoping that if they can beat Zambia, then they will qualify to the next stage. But Zambia is also determined to pick up a positive result and have chances of progressing to the group to the next stage of the World Cup. So it will be an interesting match, and a number of Zambians are hoping that the Copper Queens can rise to the occasion and beat Spain in order to remain with realistic chances of progressing to the next round of the World Cup.
It's bound to be an interesting match indeed. Thank you so much, Mr. Sichila, for bringing us the latest news on the ground from Zambia.
Thank you very much. Africa, good morning.
Now it's time for us to take a look at the weather predictions for Southern Africa.
Right into our economic news, proudly brought to you by Bank Windhoek. Mozambique to allocate 10% of tax revenues from mining to support communities. Mozambique will allocate 10% of tax revenues from mining and hydrocarbon production to structuring projects in the provinces and to supporting local communities. According to a decree approved by the Council of Ministers, 7.25% of the revenue collected from the mining production tax and the petroleum production tax will be allocated to the provinces and districts, namely for structuring projects, and 2.75% for local communities. The criteria for allocating and managing the percentage of revenues earmarked for the development of provinces, districts, and local communities where mining and hydrocarbon projects are being implemented need to be regulated, reads the document. By structuring projects, the Mozambican government means those that boost the productive sector, aiming at the collective development of a given region under the responsibility of the provincial authorities. This could cover technical and professional education, agriculture, including production support, infrastructures, dams and irrigation, land use, planning, roads, bridges and electrification, water and sanitation, among others.
Now, Veuve Clicquot exploring new African markets. Veuve Clicquot, the champagne maker that's part of luxury goods powerhouse LVMH, is exploring new markets in Africa as demand for premium products rises on the continent. The champagne maker is considering expanding in East Africa or going west to Ghana as it looks to boost its presence on the continent, according to Chief Executive Officer Jean-Marc Gallotte. The drinks maker, controlled by French tycoon Bernard Arnault, already sells its products in South Africa, Nigeria, and in Francophone countries, Tunisia, Morocco, and Algeria.
We now take a look at our economic indicators before getting into your sports news.
Sports news, and starting off with cycling news. It's the men that's done in the Tour de France. Now it's the turn of the women. It's a women's Tour de France that will start, or already started on Sunday, and it was stage 1 that was won by Belgium's Lotte Kopecky, and she won it quite convincingly by 41 seconds. So good start for her. She's from Belgium, and in second place, that was in the sprint. It was the peloton that finished in the sprint for 41 seconds behind the leader. It was Loretta Wiebes of the Netherlands second, and third it was Charlotte Kool, also from the Netherlands. At the moment, in the general classifications, that is how they will stand as well. It's Lotte Kopecky that will lead, or she's leading by 45 seconds. She got a few extra seconds bonus by winning the stage. And Loretta Wiebes second, 45 seconds behind her, of course. And then Charlotte Kool, she's 47 seconds behind the leader at the moment. Southern African interest is Ashley Moolman-Pasio. That's also in the Tour. She's one of the favorites, actually. She did well. She was 5th in stage 1. She's 53 seconds behind the leader, and she's very good in the mountains. And there's going to be 8 stages of the Tour de France for women. It finishes on Sunday in Pau, and there's quite a few mountains still to come where Ashley Moolman-Pasio will probably or hopefully make good progress to maybe be one of the leaders, or maybe even win it on Sunday when it's the 8th stage. Continuing with the Women's Soccer World Cup that's currently being played in Australia and New Zealand, and it is a result from Monday. It is Italy that beat Argentina by 1-0. It's an important result for South Africa that play also in Group G, and it is Italy and Sweden, the 2 unbeaten teams now after the first games of the group phases, and it is South Africa and Argentina without a win. The 2 of them play on Friday, so it is South Africa that play against Argentina. Very important for both teams to win this to have any chance to go through to qualifying for quarterfinals, and it will be played in Dunedin. Also, it will be the 2 leaders in the group, Sweden and Italy, that play on Saturday. That will be in Wellington. Southern African teams, or African teams that's struggling at the moment at the World Cup. It is Zambia that lost a big loss against Japan, 5-0. They next play against Spain, and it is Nigeria that had a 0-0 draw against Canada. They've got a difficult game on Thursday playing against Australia. And also it was Germany that comprehensively beat Morocco, so it is all the African teams without a win at the moment. Continuing international sports news with golf news, and it's the winner of the British Open men's tournament that was played at Royal Liverpool the weekend. It is Brian Harman that moved up to number 10 in the world after winning. He was number 16 before the start of the tournament. Also Southern African interest, it is Louis Oosthuizen that was the best South African at the British Open. He tied for 23rd. Because of him playing in the Live Golf Breakaway League, he dropped all the way to 394th in the world after being tied 23rd. He was down, he gained quite a few places. He's now number 313 in the world. So it is difficult for him to qualify for most of these tournaments. At the end of 2021, he was still 50th in the world. Best placed South African players at the moment in the world rankings is quite high. It is Tristan Lawrence, that is number 91 in the world, and then Christian Besaidnot, number 93, the highest ranked players in the world rankings from South Africa. And to conclude today's international sports news, it is cricket news. It is the Ashes series, the men's Ashes between Australia and England that continue on Thursday. It will be the 5th test. It will be played at the Oval. It was the 4th test that rained out on Sunday. It was a draw, the 4th test, and that means that Australia retained the Ashes by leading 2-1 with just 1 to play. England trying to make it 2-2 and Australia trying to win the series by 3-1. So that test will start on Thursday at the Oval. That's international sports news for today. Hope you have a great sport day and sport week, and we talk again international sport tomorrow. Goodbye.
You're watching Africa Good Morning. If you're just joining us, here are the news highlights. Gabon selects 19 presidential candidates for August election. Chinese man convicted in Malawi over racist videos. Boost for Kiswahili as Google adds it on Chatbot. Mozambique to allocate 10% of tax revenues from mining to support communities.
And with that, we've come to the end of our broadcast. Don't forget that you can catch Africa Good Morning tomorrow, same time, same place. From me, Glenn Rashipura.
And me, Diana Master, we wish you a lovely Tuesday ahead.